The world under the waves has always enchanted humans, a place of mystery and power where our terrestrial kind can't easily survive, yet an abundance of creatures we barely understand thrive in the fluid realm. The largest animals in the world are weightless here, perfectly adapted to glide through the depths. But there's another life form in this water you can't see. However, it's absolutely crucial to all life on the planet. When you scoop up seawater in the palm of your hand, you're holding hundreds of thousands of these microorganisms. They're invisible to the naked eye, yet they are so numerous you can see them from space. Plankton are the smallest living organisms in the sea, and there are two kinds. Zooplankton are tiny animals, and phytoplankton are tiny plants. This is one kind magnified 10,000 times under a microscope. They are the start of the food chain for bigger forms of marine life, all the way up to the biggest, like dolphins and sharks. But that's only one of the reasons they're so important. If you're wondering what phytoplankton eat, well, like plants on land, they make their own food from the sun's light, and this process, called photosynthesis, also takes carbon out of the atmosphere and produces oxygen. It's well known that forests are important for removing carbon from the atmosphere and storing it in the ground, but less well known is the role of phytoplankton in doing the same things in the oceans. Phytoplankton produce as much oxygen for us as the forests do, which means every second breath you take is thanks to phytoplankton. The Southern Ocean variety of the phytoplankton called Aemiliania huxleyi. This species makes beautiful calcium carbonate plates which lock in the carbon and drop it to the ocean floor. This is important in the global cycle that draws carbon out of the atmosphere.
So I was looking at the differences between the Southern Ocean varieties and the variety that's found pretty much elsewhere in the world. And a lot of research has been done on the variety found elsewhere in the world, but we know next to nothing about the Southern Ocean variety. I wanted to know whether there were some differences, whether there were genetic differences or environmental differences or physiological differences. So I started looking into the genetic differences to start with, and using molecular processes I was able to sort of see that these were quite different to the temperate varieties. So the Southern Ocean ones were clearly something else again.
Sunlight is the basis for the blooms of the temperate, warmer water variety of this phytoplankton, and the blooming creates oxygen and stores carbon.
My question was whether this Southern Ocean variety can actually do that. So what I did was expose them to the same sort of light environment that they're exposed to during a bloom, and found that they couldn't cope with the light as well as the temperate variety. And so this was sort of a major finding in my research in that it meant that the information that had been used for Southern Ocean modelling, for instance, was using inaccurate data because we didn't know that this Southern Ocean variety has a different response to light than the temperate variety.
Suellen explains why this knowledge is vital information for more accurate modelling of how phytoplankton will respond to climate change.
It's really difficult to predict the future for this particular variety, but at least now we know that it's different and reacts differently to light. So in the past, where models may have used the information gained from temperate varieties, we now know that that's probably not as accurate as what it could be if we were able to use the information that's specific to the Southern Ocean variety.
Her findings are just the first step. There's plenty of work still to be done.
Now we need more information about this Southern Ocean variety. We need more research into the peculiarities of this particular variety and how it will respond to climate change issues. We need more detailed information on how to respond to changes in temperature, for instance, and to different chemical compositions of the ocean, with ocean acidification and things like that are going to be happening under climate change that we know are already happening. There's a lot more work to be done on this particular variety. My work has been just the first step.